Hello everybody, this is the Audio Porpoise, coming to you today with another episode of SC2VN. In the last episode, we challenged Edgelord McGee to a battle, and he completely kicked our trash and then was a total douche about it. Anyway, on to the video. If you must know, he and I went to the same middle school. I was in the class above him. Oh, okay. I was thinking he might have knocked you out of a tournament or something. No, I've never played with him in a slot league. You don't need to analyze everything. Silence falls between us while Jett nurses what remains of her drink. I can't tell if she's really into coffee or if she's just trying to find something to occupy her lips other than our conversation. Was that really the story, though? I doubt Jett spends too much time at PC bangs given that she's got a team house to practice from. I should consider myself lucky that she'd make enough time to come out here at all. You know it takes 0 cents for you to focus on... You know it makes 0 cents for you to focus on qualifying for VSL, right? I'd like myself from my thoughts to meet Jett's intense stare. What do you mean? What's the point of us meeting up to practice then? No, I'm not saying, listen. I want to round up some players. For what? For VSTL. Team League. That's me, not her. Team League? But you're already on a team. Yeah. Yeah? She wavers, considering whether or not to tell me what I've already figured out. You're leaving VIP? Jett's eyes jump to mine, brows raised in surprise and then furrowed in annoyance. She's been on VIP for almost a year and is by far the team's best player. Management barely pays us and nobody is motivated. The wasn't bad and the complacent. I want a fresh thought. I'm not guilting you. It just isn't something I expected to hear. Do you have a team house picked out? No, not yet. What about a coach? No. Well, do you have players in mind? Look, it's a work in progress, okay? I edge away from her glare and raise my hands defensively. Alright. Sorry, it's not my business. For a while, silence. Jett does her best to avoid eye contact, but I can't tell she's thinking hard about something. Just as I'm about to rise to replace my milk tea with another, she speaks. You know all about this new foreign teams popping up recently, right? Yeah? What about them? Isn't it strange? There was in almost every Korean squad, yet most of them have more sponsors. Well, there are a lot of esports fans outside of Korea these days. People want to support their hometown heroes. I didn't think it's that simple. Where would the money come from if it's not the fans? Idiots. What? Idiots. Idiots that call themselves investors. Idiots that throw away money keeping mediocre players afloat because it makes them feel good inside for whatever reason. Well, she and Bolt agree on one thing at least. Okay, are you gonna find some idiots to sponsor you? No. Well. She takes a long moment to reconsider her answer. No, it wouldn't work out in the end. What I'm getting at is that there's too much of a scene ignores the foreign fan base. It's a huge mistake. Well, there's also time zone difference and a language barrier. Also, I don't know if you know this, but lots of foreign fans don't find Korean players entertaining. What? How dare you? That's ridiculous. I'm just relaying common knowledge. Don't hold me accountable for the opinions of silver leakers. I just realized I slipped out of my mock voice. Most Western fan support goes to the people who entertain well. Streamers, casters, those kinds of people. The most famous players in your scenes are the best? That's appalling. Hey, Broody Boar got popular on the backs of boys that looked good on camera. Yeah. Let's face it. This is honestly internet fame in a nutshell. That's practically the same thing. If the PC bang was the ship, the fangirls pulled the oars. Sorry, I read the first line and I didn't read the second one, but oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The powers of fangirls, like... I'm a teenage girl and I have seen girls my age freak out over stuff that they don't even care about because the guy is cute. Not the same thing. They were pretty and skilled, not one or the other. It's just some dang respect. Those boys are the only reason that you and I are able to have this conversation. The sharp response and equally sharp glares suggest that I shouldn't argue to the point. Jett knows better than I do anyway. We're getting off topic. There are tons of potential fans that most Korean teams ignore simply because they're too hard to connect with. Yeah, I agree. She lifts her eyebrows and stares at me for just a bit too long before glancing away. If I wasn't sure before, I am now. Go on? Go on and what? I know what you're thinking. No, you don't. Yes, I do. What am I thinking then? You want me to join a new team you're starting so that I can help you with the foreign fan base. Also, you invited me here to try out under the guise of practice. I like that little transition. That was nice. Jett slumps in her seat, defeated. I fight a losing battle against the urge to laugh. Don't look so smug. Ugh, I hate dealing with team management. You could hire a manager. Before we even have any players, maybe I should just keep my head down and practice. No, don't do that. It's a good idea. You're only saying that because I gave you an offer. Partially. Give me just a second. Partially, but if you go through with this, I'll do whatever I can to help. How dare you? How are you the one convincing me to go after my own idea? Dang it. She chews on her lip, likely considering the harrowing risk of leaving her team. I can't make any commitments until we at least have some other players. It'd be stupid for me to move out of the VIP house without everything lined up. This is something I've been thinking about for a while, even if I don't have every detail hashed out yet, like being an author. That's how it works. I want to keep overhead low and practice time high, lean and mean. She aims a finger at me, her dull nail a hair's breadth away from my nose. If you're going to be a part of this, you're going to pull your weight. You can stop by searching for us players unless you'd rather find me a coach and a sponsor. I cringe backwards and raise my hand. No, I'll leave that to you. Good, it'll work out better this way. The minimum number of players for Team League is 4, and you need to find at least 2. You know, this isn't exactly how I envisioned that I'd join a StarCraft team. Walk away if you like. You have a long way to go if you want to be anything other than a translator mascot anyway. I'll admit though, Axel was right. I see glimpses of high-level stuff in your play. But as of right now, you kind of suck, even by foreigner standards. Offense intended. You seriously need to stop busting your arse. You seriously need to stop busting your arse. Coming to Korea is pointless if you still practice in Western hours. Well, nobody ever claimed that Jett wasn't honest. I'm going to work you and everyone else like dogs. If this team comes together, I won't be happy with anything less than first place in BSTL. Well, I appreciate the chance. I offer a smile that she's quick to match. If we're going ahead with this, we've got a lot of stuff to do. The deadline to register for Team League is in 2 weeks, so we can't afford to waste time. Get moving on your search. Alright, good luck. I'll catch you online. Yeah, later. When she's gone, I fall back onto my chair and take a deep breath. Jett just asked me to join her team. I pinch my forearm and judge the sensation that follows. With that, my disbelief dissolves into contemplation. How the heck am I going to find 2 worthwhile unsigned players? I can guarantee you Axel's gonna be one of them. A mixture of guilt and pride led me to spend the rest of the day at Golden Zone Fire. Between ladder games and a break for dinner, I scoped out the cafe's best StarCraft players. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like any of Golden Zone Fire's regular patrons are much to write home about. There were good players there for all-out attack, sure, but today, most of the cafe's patrons were playing Brood War. And the only ones that were actually laddering in StarCraft 2, there was only a single guy in Master League. I'll have to extend my search outside of a single PC bang. I guess it'd have to be a little too convenient to find a VSL caliber player so easily. I get the urge to stop at a convenience store on the way back to my apartment. There's one thing I've been doing regularly for my nightly fixture of sugar and caffeine. The store's blindingly bright signage is visible from more than a block away. Green capital letters spell out the store's name in English on a backdrop of white. Go Mart. Is that a dude or a lady? I think that's a dude. The door's familiar chimes welcome me, and the same clerk I've seen at least a dozen times before stands formally behind the cash register. Okay, thank goodness. He looks a bit old to be working still. Maybe he owns the place and doesn't have to help to work the night shift. I see myself standing behind the counter in an unwanted mental image. It's a fate that could easily await me if I fail to make it as a professional gamer. I shake my head to free myself of the thought and make my way to the refrigerated sections to fill my fist with cans and bottles. Some of the drinks may have strange names, but I'll be danged if they aren't good. I drop them on the counter in front of the old man and briefly make eye contact with him. He seems to recognize me, but isn't saying anything to indicate it. He rings up my drink slowly, not for major calluses, but because he's in no great rush. The store is empty beside me, after all. 6,001. I swipe my credit card in the reader and depart with a polite smile, anxious to return to my apartment. The clerk returns the expression and watches me go out without another word. The only top-tier player I'm on speaking terms with is Axel, but how do I even approach the subject of getting him to leave his team for a new and untested one? Maybe it would be better for me to simply get a lead from him. If I can't manage that, then I'm left to scour local PC bangs and message boards on my own. Whatever, I'll finish this tomorrow. And you had to convince her? Seriously? She's been talking this up to me for the past 2 months. It's a big change. Plus, I just met you guys. I'd be hesitant too. Axel grins, no doubt replaying Jett's angst in his mind's eye. Getting in at the ground floor is a major plus. You were in the right place at the right time, if it works out, that is. Axel glances over his shoulder before returning his attention to me. Most teams barely pay their players anything. I've got it good for someone my age, but even I have part of my winnings taken for the team's benefits. Ouch. Luckily for the Westerners, that isn't a trend that has gone on outside of South Korea. So, I can't do it. It's impossible. The word simply will not come. What? Oh. Axel laughed out loud, genuine and highly amused. He tries to get his words out and, unlike me, eventually ends up succeeding. Sorry, Mark, but no one can do. I'm signed on with Crash until the end of the year. I'm not allowed to play for anyone else until my contract is up. As expected, As I expected. Really, it shouldn't come as a surprise. I sigh, fall back into my chair, and rest my palms on top of my head. I hate to ask, Jett's expecting me to pick up our players while she handles the management and sponsorship side of things.
Hey, well, I can help you with the next best thing.
I'd be thankful for any help at all.
Don't you worry, I've got a short list of easy pickups, an extremely short list. He clears his throat. There's only one person on it, but hey, better than nothing, right?
Who is it?
Ooh, straight to business. Eager for your bunk bed, I see. Just me, Mark, you'll want the bottom bunk.
You know from experience?
Sure do. When I was 16, some upjumped brood war clans scraped me from the bottom of the barrel and set me up in their overcrowded sweatshop of a teen house. I had to sleep above someone at least 2 years past a graceful retirement. I've seen solitaire players with better APM. He snored a lot.
APM, the average number of actions made by every minute. Top players generally at least have 300 APM and often more.
As horrible as he's trying to make it seem, Axel sounds closer to the wistful and better as he recounts his first years as a professional gamer.
What happened to the team?
Sponsor flag. Team didn't have the money for legal action. Coach didn't tell us until 20 minutes before rent was due. Someone stole my mouse pad as we were moving out, and that was the end of my StarCraft career. Wait, no. It kept going for 7 years after that, and somehow still isn't over. Always forget that part.
Axel, top Korean Terran, master storyteller.
Anyway, the guy's name is Stunt. Plays Protoss. He's pretty good.
But?
Does there have to be a but?
I'm sensing a but.
I'm sensing a but. I'm sensing the booty. It's a small butt. It is almost midnight, I'm sorry. I'm tired. It's a small butt. He's incredibly cheesy and maybe a touch arrogant. And he's a high schooler, but he's good.
Why haven't any other teams picked him up in that case?
He shrugs. I get the feeling that Axel genuinely doesn't know, but I'm left anxious nonetheless. Still, it's important to have at least some kind of racial distribution on the team. Not in terms of foreign or Korean, mind you, but rather Zerg, Protoss, or Terran.
Do you know how I could get in touch with him?
I could give you his info for a friend request, but he'd probably block you on the assumption that you're a gold seller or something. Your best bet is to find him in person at the Stomping Grounds.
His Stomping Grounds? What do you mean? Where?
No, the Stomping Grounds. That's the name of the PC bang he's usually at. Ugh, another trek across Seoul. I've never heard of the place, much less been to it. Axel takes note of my frown and wags a finger at me. What, you can't be bothered? What, you fly halfway across the world and can't be bothered to walk for half an hour? Take a subway if you're that lazy.
No, it's fine. I shouldn't expect this to be easy.
Now we're talking. Get going. I'll keep an eye out for your next player in the meantime.
Anyway, guys, that has been episode 5 of SC2VN. In the next episode, I assume we'll meet our next player. And it is now midnight, and I am tired, and so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!